Oh yeah, this home, baby. This home.
It is home. We're gonna go live here. Look at
Everywhere else
that.
is a
We're
hotel.
live. Look at. Oh my God, we are free. Finally, the Google gods have finally agreed and said, Enrique, you may go live now. PTL.
Jesus.
Praise the Lord. I'm so excited. Actually, I'm really excited for this week's show because we have a first time guest. We haven't had a first time guest in a long time, I don't think. First time guest though. I want to introduce him quickly before we get the show started. We have Ainsley Bowden from SeasonGaming.com. Ainsley, welcome to Brad, my man.
Thanks, guys. What's going on?
Man, just living the dream, as they say.
What is the dream, Enrique? What is the dream?
I know.
The dream is me walking around my house like Dr. Manhattan and, some other things going down. That's the dream. Actually, my dream is to live like Gaming Forte.
Oh Lord, I thought the real dream was to walk around and praising PC while you forsake Xbox.
I mean, he is all about that wave these days.
I thought that was the wave of the future for you.
I just want to say something quickly. That's not a dream. That's reality. That happens on a day-to-day. Look, PC Master Race, baby. I'm all about it. I have the Scarlet already. I have the PS5 already. I'm enjoying next-gen textures. I'm not dealing with muddy textures and low frame rates.
Enrique is that guy with AirPods. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I don't speak broke.
I'm sorry, sir.
Is that a wire coming out of your ears, sir? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't understand what you're saying to me. I'm playing.
He went completely like elite on us, man. Like,
oh, he went off the deep end, huh?
Yeah.
We're drinking that 7 pounds of Kool-Aid, man.
He drunk it all.
Yeah, he's running around like Lex Luger, man. Like,
literally went to the literally came to Michigan, went to the Fagos Pop distillery, and literally drank all the Fago. And Michigan is out of it now, so the sugar is all with him now.
Hey, well, Ainsley, let me tell you what happened, man. So this is what happened. Phil Spencer came out and said, "Hey, you can play Xbox anywhere, right?" I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." We got the Ultimate Game Pass deal, which means that you have Game Pass on PC too, right? So I'm thinking, maybe this is time for me. I'm a content creator. I could use a new PC for that, right? Google kind of forced my hand when they took Hangouts away from us, where we could just drop Hangouts and it would just load up on YouTube right away. Then I had to start using OBS. My old laptop really wasn't hanging with OBS. There was a lot of infighting between OBS and my PC. And I
figured explain all this to his accountant.
Yeah, exactly, right? I had to explain this to your wife.
I'm a content creator. I need this written off my taxes.
Yeah, I need this all taken off. I need my show to be pristine, wife. So I need you to help me with this endeavor.
Oh, by the way, this will be written off on taxes because I do work from home. Thank you. So yes, my quote unquote home office. But so Phil made it easy. He was like, you know what, you can get Game Pass anywhere. I got Ultimate Game Pass for $1 for my 2.5 years or whatever it is. And you know what, Ainsley, man, it just made sense. Like I got a gaming PC, pulled the trigger, and man, I'm telling you, I don't think I've looked back, man. I don't think I've looked back. It's been such an awesome gaming experience. Like
2 weeks ago, he hasn't looked back since.
Look, man, I gotta take responsibility for this. Unfortunately, I was talking mad mess and telling them like PC's the best place to be, but I ain't expect this man to just go out there and literally just completely forsaking the Xbox like he had. Like, I have a beast PC too, and I still play on my Xbox more than I do on my PC. And this dude just like if it's not dude, I don't even, what's the last time you actually put up a screenshot of an Xbox game played on an Xbox?
It's been a long time. It's been a long time, man. I mean, I've put a lot of screenshots up of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Obsidian's new game, The Outer Worlds, Destiny.
Stop taking pictures of skyboxes, man.
Dude, you got come on, man. The skyboxes are beautiful, man.
They are. They're really good looking, but man, everybody put. I'm starting to get irritated at you because you following along with all the skybox bit. I'm like, dude, play the game. Show me something interesting in the game that's not a skybox.
Skybox is where the beauty is, but for me, it's just been kind of a game changer. Like, it's just such a new experience for me to be able to play games in higher frames and ultra textures. I went back and played Gears 5. It was like, whoa, wait a minute, like what? I didn't notice this detail in on the Xbox One X version. And you remember that, Forty? I think you were there for that when we were playing. Yeah, so
I was there.
So on a monitor,
you can see the difference in frame rate now, can't you?
Oh yeah, AZ. I play on a monitor.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a Dell monitor. Yeah, it has NVIDIA G-Sync, and I have a 2070 GPU that has ray tracing. Thank you. And a AMD 2700X CPU. So, it's been a game changer, man. Like, it's just going from console to PC. It's going to be hard for me to go back. That's the thing. And but I loved every minute of it. It's been great. So that's enough of my my PC adventures.
That's his recent gaming history.
Yeah, my recent gaming history.
His recent gaming history has been converted over to PC.
Exactly.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Some of us will follow you sooner or later.
He's in the honeymoon phase because he hasn't run into a technical issue yet.
Exactly.
That's not
exactly.
It's not entirely true. I had some issues with Call of Duty that I'll talk about here in a little bit. But I don't want to monopolize the time here. Ainsley, I do want to, because you're new to a lot of our listeners here and first time here on the Brat Podcast. But dude, tell us a little bit about your gaming history. When you started gaming, and what was your first memorable gaming experience? First game console that you owned?
Wow. Yeah, I could go a while, guys. I don't know how old we all are here, but I'm in my 40s.
Same. We're
okay.
All you're the right club, man. We're all the 40. We're all in our 40s too, man.
So yeah, started my first console that I actually kind of owned at home was Atari 2600.
Yes, sir.
My man.
Yeah, so my first memory actually would be Missile Command in the arcade.
Woo!
So that's where my dad used to take me to the arcade when I was starting at about 3 or 4. And I remember playing Missile Command. And then I remember getting the Atari and playing Yar's Revenge as a classic, one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And God, man, from there, I had a good buddy. I had that one kid best friend, when you're young. And he had Intellivision. I had Atari. And so we'd take turns on the weekends sleeping over at each other's houses so we could play both of them. And
Nice.
then from there, NES came out, of course, in 85. And won't go into too many details here, but I was poor and my mom couldn't afford to get me an NES. So a couple of my buddies got one. I remember the first time seeing Super Mario Brothers in real life. The first time I actually played it at a friend's house, that kind of was revolutionary to me. And I'd probably say that is what really got me into gaming kind of for the rest of my life. Next year, my mom finally saved up and she bought me Sega Master System. So I became a Sega kid.
Nice. What was your first Master System game? Do you remember?
Oof. So I got the one with the phaser and Super Hang-On.
Ooh,
and so that was the bundle I got. I'm trying to remember. Alex Kidd in Miracle World was an early one.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's got to be one of those, I would think. I just didn't know any better, right? At the time, I didn't know the difference between NES and Sega. I just knew, hey, Sega, this system's black. It looks cooler and it's newer, so it's better. And so I got that and did not realize it at the time, of course, the whole NES thing and all that. But I was a Sega kid forever at that point. I just loved it to death. Grew up playing Phantasy Star. That's one of my all-time classics.
Oh, my gosh. You were speaking my language right now, man. Phantasy Star. Wow.
Yeah, I've actually got my original Phantasy Star copy in my game room here from when I was 10. I got a custom art print behind it, too, up on the wall.
Nice.
But yeah, then obviously Genesis, and about that time is when, let's see, I'm into my get almost into my teens. That's when arcades, were really starting to kick up. When Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat got big.
Yep.
The kind of competitive scene started to grow.
And did you go to the arcades and put your quarters down on the?
Oh man, I was a tournament player.
Wow.
Yeah, I played tournament Street Fighter 2 and MK2, MK1 and 2 actually.
Wow.
So yeah, I had an arcade. I had a mall about 15 minutes from my house, and I would get home from school, immediately hop on my bike, ride to the mall, and whatever money I had, once I started working, obviously I had some money, but whatever money I had, we just put up, and there was a core group of about 10 to 15 kids that would rotate in and out of the arcade playing Street Fighter, and we would always have our quarters up and just competing every day. And then I started entering tournaments about a year after that. And yeah, man, God, that arcade scene, man, I miss it. I miss it a lot.
Yeah, so do I, man.
Yeah, I do too, man. I mean, there were so many those Street Fighter days, man, were just bring back so many great memories for me.
Yeah, they're unbelievable.
I used to rock on that Street Fighter with the first machine had the big slam buttons on it.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do. Yep.
Oh, you talk about Street Fighter 2?
No, the first Street Fighter arcade machine. The first one had like the big red and blue slam buttons. You just slam your fist on them.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. That was Street Fighter 1.
Okay.
They didn't have it on Street Fighter 2 from what I remember, but yeah.
Yeah, I played Street Fighter 1, but I don't remember those buttons. That's crazy.
It didn't last long because it had the rubber covering over it. And from so many kids slamming on it, the rubber would always crack and break, so the button underneath would be exposed. But yeah. Yeah, you put in work slamming on those, man.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
I mean, you speak of the arcade, and you speak of Sega, Ainsley. Sega had so many arcade classics, like Golden Axe, Shinobi.
Golden
I
Axe.
mean,
Afterburner. I remember
Afterburner.
Carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were a ton, man. I love that era of gaming, and 16-bit era and the arcade era at the same time were that's my favorite memories of gaming. The other thing I talk about too, I talked about this on the Lord's podcast, is the one thing I really liked about that era and just living through that at the time was the camaraderie among the kids basically that were in the arcades, right? Because gaming was a lot more niche back then, and gamers were a little bit, I don't know, they were looked at differently, I guess. And I think the thing I loved about gaming in the arcades was there were just such a mixed group of people, no matter where you kind of lived or came from or whatever, and we all just kind of got along because of the games, and that always stuck with me. I love that, man. I don't know, it's something special to me in my history for gaming.
No, it was definitely a different time. I remember even if you had a Nintendo or you had a Sega, nobody cared what you had. If you didn't have a Sega, you went to your buddy's house who had a Sega to go play.
Right. Yeah, it was just about playing whatever there was, because it was all new,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we might tease people on occasion. I remember we had a buddy who got a TurboGrafx 16. We're yeah, it's not really a 16-bit console.
Yeah, that's an 8-bit board, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's got two 8-bit boards. It's not really 16, and but we still went over there. We played Bonk's Adventure. I mean, we were oh yeah, let's go over there and play. And so we might tease a little bit, but I mean, we were still very adamant and excited about going and trying out different different consoles and playing different games. So you're right, man.
Yeah,
It's
no
a different
doubt.
time, man. Different time.
Very.
Yeah.
And then I started working. I got really big into Neo Geo. When I started making some money, I got in big. I lived outside of Philly for a while, most of my life actually, until I moved out here to Kansas City. And I got in with a Neo Geo group out there, collectors group. And so I had a home Neo Geo, and I had a custom MVS board. It's basically an arcade board that I could hook up to my TV.
Yep.
And I started collecting Neo Geo games and playing in fun tournaments with those guys too. And that became that's when I got really big into collecting. So in my kind of mid-20s, I had a massive collection of games: Neo Geo, 3DO, TurboGrafx, basically anything. I had tons and tons of games, which was a cool era that I went through as well.
Dude, Neo Geo. It's funny. We always joke around someone always had a cousin that had a Neo Geo.
Right.
Yeah, that system. Just the games SNK was putting out at the time were to me arcade classics. Still to this day are just classic games. I mean, you're right, man. It was such a different time in gaming, and I don't know, man. I think you're right, man. There's definitely, I feel like maybe the community was a little bit tighter, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of niche to be a gamer. Like it wasn't it wasn't as socially accepted as it is today. So from the Neo Geo, where'd you go from there then? Did you get into like the PlayStation and like Sega Saturn, N64?
Yeah, so all three. I took a kind of a short break. That's right when I started. I'm a car guy too. So I started getting more into like tuning cars and hanging out and girls and all that shit, And
I hear you, man.
And so you start getting into that, and the money becomes scarce. And so I actually, like an idiot now, looking back on it, I sold off almost all of my gaming collection because I had thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of Neo Geo stuff, and I sold it all off for car parts. And so I took a couple years there where I wasn't really doing too much, and then got into I was in PS1, N64, and then the Dreamcast really kind of got me back into gaming, like full force. So I was at Dreamcast launch, still have my Dreamcast from that day, and then obviously from there everything since. So PS2 and original Xbox. I was a die-hard original Xbox guy. I mean, I still have my Xbox Live beta tester kit and shirt. I was there on day one with Halo, and Halo kind of changed my life too, because that got me back into the competitive scene. Played tournament Halo and Halo 1 and 2, or Halo CE and 2, and so ever since then, just been diehard.
Wow, so you were actually a beta tester too, and it's funny. I remember those T-shirts they gave us, like my T-shirt, because at the time, I'm in my early 20s. I was a little more muscular, and so my shirt was a little more form-fitting. But I remember I stuck that Joker in the washer, like it shrunk to like a baby size.
Yeah, I still have mine, man. It's like an XL. It's all big on me now, but it's funny. I still have that shirt. I still have my kit, the microphone, the what it was, NFL
Fever and Revolt and Fever.
Yeah, Revolt.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny is I still actually talk to and game with guys. Actually, one of the guys in the live chat right now, One Bad Mother. There's guys that I still game with. Actually, one of the guys that I met on Xbox Live like 17 years ago, I just got him into the ILP Destiny clan. His name's Kane's Fan, and it's crazy. Like I the last 17 years, I still have kept in touch with a lot of these guys from the Xbox Live beta days, and that was an awesome experience, like that, to be able to do that.
Sorry, I was gonna say that early online, when live kind of first came up, and especially like when Halo 2 first launched, those early days were like most reminiscent of the arcade days. It just felt like everyone was a community again, and it was so new and so fresh and just so crazy to be playing online and actually talking to people. Man, some great memories there too.
Yeah, no, really, it really was, man. And it did have a lot of freshness to it. And it kind of had I thought it kind of had like a cool factor too, like I remember like a lot of us like kind of like wore that Xbox Live beta thing like with a badge of honor. Like, yeah, we're the first. The OBM, the live chat saying OGXBL. We were the guys that helped build this, and there was that kind of badge of honor. And I used to be a game. What's that? What's that?
Did anyone else?
Oh, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hello. Hello? Let's see what's going on here. Can you guys hear me?
You can play with people all over the world. I was like,
all right, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. Like, freaking Hangouts.
Yeah.
All good, man.
Yeah. I heard E say, uh-oh. And then I was like, hello. And then I realized that I was disconnected. I don't know how I got dropped somehow. But this is the thing. How are they going to make Stadia work? That's all I want to know.
I don't know, but Wait, Monster says he can only hear you.
He can only hear me?
That's what he just typed. I'm not sure if that's still the case.
Hey, chat, please let us know if you can hear all of us right now.
Oh, one bad mother's just saying just me.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it says yeah. No, I'm not using xCloud. All right, could you guys hear? Okay, hold on a sec. Could you guys hear everyone now? Go ahead, guys. Start talking.
Hello.
You got the touch.
Like Lay's saying everyone's clear. You know what's happening is so okay. Let me tell like everyone's happening behind the scenes. So I'm on the YouTube live streaming window, right? And for whatever reason, YouTube will decide to just like crap out. It says you're experiencing buffering, and like a big like yellow sign will come up, exclamation point. So that's what's happening where they can't, like all the viewers can't hear you guys talking, or I get dropped. So
I think we're good now. Everyone's saying they can hear us.
So to my point, Ainsley, how is Stadia gonna work? I mean, they can't even get fucking YouTube right.
Oh my God, man! I don't know. I'm not a Google fan. You're asking the wrong guy. I'm a tech guy. I'm in a tech career. Telephony, telecom, networking, and I'm just not a fan of Google. So
nice.
Yeah,
Networking guy. Okay.
Oh, you were speaking slow-mo's language.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I actually used xCloud, and it's impressed me for sure. I don't know about Stadia though. I mean, I know there are fundamentally different architectures, and we could go into detail in that, but I just don't have a lot of faith in Google generally.
Yeah, I did a video on my experience with xCloud. It was, mostly favorable. I noticed the difference when I was on T-Mobile's 4G LTE network versus being on Wi-Fi and my Verizon Fios home.
Yep.
So there was definitely a difference there. A lot more, I wouldn't say a lot more latency, but a significant enough latency for me to not really enjoy the experience that much. When I tried it out, I was out in Delaware, so I wasn't even in my normal environment.
Delaware, we're in Delaware. Not to interrupt you, that's where I grew up.
God, I can't remember the name of the city, but it's like maybe
He's
30
lying.
minutes.
Slow-mo was
away
not
from-
in Delaware. Forte confirmed this.
Ah.
I'm just saying.
Oh Lord!
What? No, I went to, it was a lake house, like 30 minutes away from Ocean City.
Oh, okay. So you're southern, like Dover.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was definitely close to Dover.
Okay.
But we were only out there for like a weekend. And that's why I was like, well, this is kind of perfect for me to, try it, because the only time I really want to use xCloud is when I'm not at home and I'm not going to be near my PC or my Xbox to really play anything. So, all right, let me go, got my clip, got my controller, and I was out and about out on the porch playing it, and it was okay, but it wasn't something that you would want to do.
Right.
But when I was at home on Wi-Fi, it was fine. But if I'm at home, then I'm probably going to use my PC or my Xbox. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I look at it as like a secondary way. You know what I mean? It's not to replace your PC or console experience in any means.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So Ansley, real quick, just kind of fast forward a little bit. We talked about your gaming history.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about seasongaming.com. Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, so people who know me, I'm like a goddamn walking Wikipedia of video game stuff. And so I like I said, I'm also in the car, so I used to admin a couple car forums, and forums, they have like separate sections. So I actually started a couple gaming sub forums on car forums, and it just got to the point where people would say, you're basically setting us up, running all, trying to have conversations every day, but the people here just don't really. You know what I mean? They just don't really have that same kind of interest. And so I was like, well, I'm already talking gaming every single day. Why don't I do something about this? So Season Gaming started as just a blog. I started a blog back in the end of 2015, just like me putting a few things up here and there. And then I just kind of ran with it. I was just like, all right, I want to create a site. I kind of got fed up with a lot of these smaller sites, even the bigger ones. It's all clickbait. You go to their site, there's 900 ads. You can't even read something without video running or ads popping up in your face. And it just kind of pissed me off. So it just felt, to me, I'm weird, man. I'm very old school and very traditional. It just felt like disrespectful to gaming. And so that's why I named it Season Gaming, for the old school heads like us. And I just wanted to, when I started building out the site, I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm going to build this out of my own pocket. And so we're never going to have any ads. We're never going to have any paid promotions. We're never going to do these things ever. I don't care if the site becomes big or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. So even as we've grown, I've developed the site further, and there's a lot of integrations now. And, we do quite a bit of stuff. We're certainly not a big site, but, we do quite a bit. And it's all still completely run by me out of pocket. And I don't know. I just like it that way. I like just talking about gaming and leaving all the nonsense aside.
It's the one thing that's nice about your site. You mentioned like a lot of the ads. There's no ads. It's pretty streamlined. I like that. Like everything's front and center. The news is right there. I feel like I didn't have to go digging for stuff, which is a nice. It's nice. It's nice that you don't have to do that. And it's funny. It's funny you mentioned the ads, because I remember I used to be a moderator on the GameSpot forums. And I remember when they were kind of like, because they were, really the internet changed everything in terms of media, and then the 24/7 news cycle and all that stuff. And, they were selling people memberships. Like if you were like an elite member, you wouldn't see advertisement. I think that's changed.
I remember those days. Yeah, I remember those days.
But
I don't know. It just felt odd to me. So, as much as I expanded, I got some plans for just further expanding it and integrations. And I just kind of like giving back. I play for Extra Life and talking to Gamers Outreach right now around how I can kind of integrate with them on some things. And I don't know. I guess I'm fortunate enough at place in my life where, I can do that, and be able to kind of just do that on the side. But it's a passion for me.
That's awesome, man. And like I said, I like the videos you guys are doing. Definitely high production value stuff, man. It's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great stuff. So, by the way, guys, I did drop a link, description at the bottom of the podcast description, and where you can find Ainsley on Twitter too. So if you guys want to give him a follow and check out seasongaming.com, please check these guys out. Very good stuff here on their website. So let's get into some gaming topics real quick. I do want to talk about one. We had two big releases last week. We had Call of Duty, the reboot of the Modern Warfare series. And hey, big shout out to Ainsley again for the Modern Warfare poster, man. Thank you again for that, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Jesus, I had even forgotten that. Believe it or not, how much is on my mind. Yeah, that's good, man. I hope you get it up there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to hang it, because I have a bunch of posters hung up in my in my gaming room right now. So I don't want to take any posters down. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put this poster. So, but I have a frame and everything for it. I just got to figure out where I want to hang this. But so Modern Warfare came out, and then we have Obsidian's much anticipated RPG, The Outer Worlds release as well. But I do want to talk about Modern Warfare real quick. Ainsley, I believe you've played this game, right?
Yeah, quite a bit.
I just beat it this past weekend. Has anyone else on the panel? Have you guys played Call of Duty?
Yeah, I beat it over the weekend.
You beat it? Okay. Forte, B, Eric?
I have not.
Okay.
I've been playing it.
You've been playing? Okay. I'll try not to get...
though.
No campaign, just multiplayer.
Multiplayer all day, baby.
No, I hear you, man.
That's actually me too.
I can speak for Forte. You know that Fraud didn't play it, so we can just continue on.
I do want to say something. I was on a certain podcast on Friday. Forte says that, hey guys, come check us out on Brad. I'm always correcting slow-mo or something to that effect. I'll just leave it at that.
You know what's interesting? Last Wednesday, Forte said that. What did he say? That he owns he's renting space in my head or something like that.
Yes, he did say that.
It's funny because every chance he gets, he brings me up on podcasts. So who has space in whose head? I don't talk about Forte. You know, if I do talk about him, it's it's just it's sad how I treat him on these shows. But
oh my goodness,
I don't actually say anything mean about the guy, but he brings me up all the time. So it must be me having real estate in his head. I must have a whole penthouse. Ain't that much space up there. So there's only so much I can do.
Come on, dude. But, are you saying?
Huh?
Are you saying he's limited to 400 square feet with an efficiency?
See, he looked like now you adding stuff, Enrique. I didn't say all that. All I said was it was limited space. I'm not saying that it's a 1-bedroom apartment and that's about it. But
yeah, I don't know, man. It sounded like you said that the bathroom was in the same room as the bedroom. I'm just saying that's what it sounded like.
I gotta brush my teeth on my bed, No, let me stop. I'm messing around with Forte because he's on mute right now. I don't know what he's doing, but
he's probably playing Destiny.
It's probably what he's doing. But about Call of Duty, I think this is the best campaign that I've played for Call of Duty. Period. What about you guys?
All right. Well, let's go with our guest, Ainsley, real quick. I want to get your thoughts first, Ainsley, on Call of Duty. What are your thoughts, man? How is this Modern Warfare compared to the previous Modern Warfare games, which were extremely popular? Number one, how would you compare those games? And where would you rank this game to those? I mean, do you feel like this is a return to, the best of Call of Duty? To my opinion, at least, the Modern Warfare games were the best of Call of Duty, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, so I don't know who said it, but multiplayer all day, that's kind of me. So I've only got about an hour in the campaign. I've spent about, 12, 15 hours already on multiplayer. That's just my competitive nature. I always dive into multiplayer and I have trouble letting go. So that's where I am. I would agree with you on Modern Warfare. When you talk about Call of Duty, I've been there since Call of Duty 1, obviously, but it was 2007. When Halo, like I said, Halo is my number one. But when Halo 3 was out and Modern Warfare Original 1 came out, just amazing games. And I never really got into the more modern Call of Duties as much. I've tried them all, but they're not my thing. So for me personally, this is definitely a return to what I like. I think the new engine is strong. I really love the sound design in this one. It's definitely a step up. It needs some tuning here and there, but it's a step up. And I just love the modes in combat. It's just got a nice kind of a little weightier feel to the past Call of Duties. And I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I can't speak to the campaign. I can tell you, for us, Dan said he beat it. Bert said he beat it. They both loved it a lot.
Okay.
I think Slow-Mo said it's his favorite campaign ever. Dan on my group said the same thing. He said, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 1 are up there, but he said this is his favorite one ever. So that doesn't really surprise me. So I'm hearing that out of some people. I've heard it's incredibly well done. So I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm just that multiplayer guy, man. It runs through my blood. As soon as I pick up the controller, I'm like, I gotta shoot someone that wants to shoot me, but I gotta shoot them first. That's just how. That's right. That's how I am. That's just how I am. So it's really hard.
So for you, MB Money, I guess this question because I haven't touched the multiplayer yet. But for you two guys, I've been hearing a lot of talk from people saying that they don't like this year's version of the multiplayer because it's too much camping. Mm-hmm. And I've heard that multiple times. What do you guys think about that?
You want to go first?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. From my experience, so funny enough, I'm on Reddit quite a bit too. I posted a comment in Modern Warfare yesterday, which was probably my first mistake. And I posted something like, someone posted something like, people complaining about the flow is what has made the past several Call of Duties, kind of crappy in their opinion. Pretty much like a Twitch only, run and gun only game.
Right.
And so I agreed with it, which was my second mistake. And all hell broke loose. I got attacked from about 30 different angles. So yeah, I think there's a big kind of divide in the community from what I've seen so far, in that you've got guys, I think, that think along the way I do of some of the map design here, some of the maps aren't great. I'll be honest. But I think there's a lot of more old school Modern Warfare design where more guns are viable. There's more sight lines. You definitely have to think before just running around. Like just trying to play this game like Black Ops 3 is not going to work. You get destroyed. And so it's definitely a different type of Call of Duty than the past few years, I would say. And I think that's really pissed some people off. So you've kind of got two camps. You got the camps who are like, this is a great change of pace, and I like these longer sight lines and different weapons and some different ways of playing. And then other people who want that fast-paced Twitch run and gun Call of Duty that really hate it.
Interesting.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, for me,
go ahead, B.
Yeah, for me, I haven't really touched Call of Duty too much since Modern Warfare 3. So, I mean, just the stuff that it showed prior to the game coming out is what really got me interested in it. So jumping in day one on the multiplayer, I think the maps kind of lend themselves to allowing people to camp more. I think there's definitely more snipers in the game than there have been in the past, and I think that's a good thing. I think especially with them adding the ground war mode in there, with the vehicles and stuff like that, it kind of gives you like a battlefield feel to it. The maps are slightly bigger. There's vehicles there. It allows people to actually play with different, character loadouts and things like that. Getting into like TDM and domination and things like that. You will find some campers in there, but I don't really mind that at all. I think that actually just allows people to play the game the way they want to play it. I think, if you look at some of the past Call of Duties where, they were just, fast-paced Twitch games and, just trying to hit the next man first, coming around the corner and things like that. I think this is a nice change of pace, and I really like it. I've been enjoying it, ever since I've been playing it. So I kind of applaud the new map structure and just the TDK too. I think they actually changed it slightly. So it allows, some different reactions. And when you go look at some of the kill cams, you can definitely tell that more people are using different guns. It's not just the one or two guns that everybody's running around with like they were in past games. So
you mean not everyone's running around with the SMG?
SMG, yeah, exactly right. And I think that's where the cry is, right? You got those guys who are pure run and gun SMG who are only worried about their KD and are touting over here in Black Ops, I'm a 4.0 KD, and they're getting crushed.
Yeah,
and they just don't like it. And too bad. And you need to play the game you're playing. If you want to go play Black Ops, go play Black Ops. I think B said it well. There's a lot more variety in this game. You have the ability to use many more different guns and loadouts, which I really like. And you even in this game, if you're getting killed by someone repeatedly, you can actually hit a button and use their loadout immediately on your next spawn.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's interesting.
I like that.
That's
so it's like
that a lot.
And you don't even have
you
that.
can't even complain. Yeah, you can't even complain, right? It's like, well, this guy keeps killing me with this cheap gun. Use it. What are you complaining about?
Exactly.
He's got a better loadout than me. He's got a better weapon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I like it a lot. And as B said, there's a lot of variety. There's the 6-on-6, and then they have 10-on-10 deathmatch and domination. So it's slightly bigger. Then they have ground war, which is like the mini battlefield or battlefield light, as people are calling it. And then they have gunfight, which is 2-on-2 round based. And man, that's a blast too. I'm loving the hell out of that.
Gunfight is so fun.
It's fun as hell. So it's just it's a great package in my opinion. I think it's a good return to form for Call of Duty is what I'm calling it. Personally.
Nice.
Interesting.
Real quick, man. I want to go to live chat because we had a question. Clarence Finn wants to know: didn't they used to boot you for not moving around?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember them ever booting people for just camping.
Like AFK.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess if you are just like sitting in one spot and not moving, but if you're like sitting in one spot and you're aiming down sights and looking through different like sight lines, you're putting inputs in. So
yeah.
But I remember in Destiny, I think at one point in Destiny 1, you could get booted from a match like that if you were camping. So I guess it depends on the game as well. What I was going to say is that in regards to PvP meta, like everything that you guys were talking about people who were used to a certain way of playing, and they were used to playing Black Ops. And I don't really play like Call of Duty multiplayer like that, but I did a lot of Dark Zone and Division 1. And I saw the same thing where people were playing in that run and gun style. They had certain builds set up using AKs. They were using they were always using, I can't remember the name of the which guns, but they had specific guns that were always the meta gun that everyone used.
Was it like the FAMAS one of them? Or is that another?
It's not the FAMAS. It's not the FAMAS, but it's a gun that looks just like the FAMAS. It's a different name. I can't remember the name of it. But in the Division 1, everyone was running around with the same, very similar builds in the Division. And then as soon as they changed things up and allowed Deadeye builds to be more prevalent, where you can, do long distance sniping, and it was taking tons of damage off of people. People were flipping out, crying. It was the YouTube content creators for Division were making 30-minute rant videos, and it's just like all you're complaining about is the fact that you can't run up on people who use that build anymore and wipe them out with no problem. Now you got to change your game up, and you don't want to do that.
Yep.
And so what I hope is that Infinity Ward just basically ignores those whiners and don't change things up, because Massive Entertainment did change things up back to the way it was, and a lot of people just checked out of the game because they're just like, you keep listening to the wrong people.
Yeah.
and it's making the game not fun.
Well, they also brought back
that vocal minority.
Yeah, Infinity Ward also brought back a lot of the old Infinity Ward guys from Respawn to work on this game too, and I wonder how much of that impacted the multiplayer aspect of this game. Because look, I'm not I used to be into Call of Duty multiplayer. I haven't been since Black Ops, but it sounds like from what you guys are saying that it's a solid entry in terms of multiplayer for the series, which at least to me sounds encouraging, considering that they release this game every year. But I do kind of, without spoiling too much, I do want to talk a little bit about the campaign, because I did get a chance to complete it this weekend. It's not a long campaign. I think it's about 5 hours.
6 hours, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm okay with that. Like I don't need campaigns to be 30, 40 hours every game that I play. Like I don't need that. I don't have enough.
It was
time
like a good
day.
movie.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a good movie.
Playing.
Yeah. I will say that I
were probably some of the best I've seen.
Oh yeah. I mean, I played it on PC Master Race. Thank you. And what I will say is that the cutscenes, like Slow-Mo was saying, were some of the most realistic cutscenes I've ever seen in a game. I was blown, and Slow-Mo, I think you would agree with me on that those scenes were almost lifelike.
Yeah, like that performance capture process that they were using in there. I mean, I've yet to see. It was up there with like Naughty Dog level of performance capture in the cutscenes with the facial expressions. It was the eyes. The eyes were so expressive. Like you can really tell how people. It's just. You can understand how a character was feeling without them even saying anything, just by the facial expressions and the worry lines, or how they would squint their eyes, or just little details like that. It was really, really good. I thought, I don't know if you noticed it or not, Enrique, but there were parts where I could see where they were pulling certain inspiration from, like the one movie that had the guy from The Office in it, that was about it was about a real actual battle in a country where they were trying to protect some people, and they were like in a compound and being attacked over and over by like the locals there. You know what mission I'm talking about, right, Enrique?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, I know exactly what mission you're talking about.
Yeah, they set that up exactly like how the movie was. And I was like, I remember just like the parts where you have to like shoot flares to see where the enemy is, because it's so dark and you can't see, and they're like creeping up on you. It was great. I like that part. I love that part. I love the part when you're in night vision and you're going through the home and you're clearing rooms.
That was very much like that when you do that in that compound. That was very much like from that movie. What was that movie where they about capturing
Zero Dark? Was it Zero Dark?
Yeah, Zero Dark 30. Was that
Yeah,
Zero
I think
Dark
that's
30,
it.
yeah. That reminded me a lot of that. I mean, even the way that house was laid out was very much like that movie. And I mean, talk about the night vision. The night vision, it looked so realistic. It was crazy. And you know what's interesting, guys? Like there's a lot. You guys remember the controversy surrounding this game? You know, with some of the like early campaign impressions. You know, and the media was kind of reporting on that maybe this game is too violent, or maybe depicting a war in a way that's just depicting in a way that could make you feel uncomfortable. I don't remember the exact words that the media was using, but you guys remember those articles that were coming out. I think was it E3, I think, of this year, but it wasn't,
I thought they were exaggerating once I played it.
Yeah,
it wasn't as bad as they made it seem.
I kind of felt like that, but I was kind of torn too. There were some parts that did make me feel a little uncomfortable, and I felt like, are they doing this to, just do it for the sake of doing it, to to be violent and to be edgy, or are they really trying to? Because Call of Duty, the campaign follows a lot of the same tropes as other Call of Duty Modern Warfare games. Bad guys do something. You got to go stab bad guys now. You meet up with other people from different countries, other spec ops people, and then you try to thwart whatever bad things the bad guys are going to try to do, right? And it follows that. So I felt like at times I felt like maybe they were adding these things to try to kind of make it a more compelling story, I guess. But I don't know if they necessarily pulled that off. And Sloan, like that scene, and the media talked about it. There was a scene with the little girl, fighting the Russian. Mm-hmm. Like, how did you feel about that? Like when you were playing that?
I didn't. As I was playing that part, I was really into the scene, and when it was over, I was kind of wondering, like, I don't see what the big deal was from the perspective of like the media people who were actually like seeing that. Because as I was playing it, I understand these are aspects of war, and it's not pretty, and it's not anything that needs to be glorified. But I thought it was just kind of telling this character's story in context of what was going on. And I guess if all you see is that, and you don't see what happened before that and what happened afterwards, then you don't really understand why the scene is in here. And then you could probably draw some ideas from that, saying, well, I think they're just trying to be edgy, or they're just trying to have shock value in the campaign. But when you look at it in context to the storyline, it made sense. And it made sense to why you saw that.
It definitely did. And there were still times where I did feel a little uncomfortable, like, and that's probably because I'm a dad and I have a daughter, and maybe that was the intention of the developer, like, to really, show us really, I guess, as much as they can convey, I guess, the ugly sides of war. But I think you bring up a good point, Slim. Like, if you only play that, you don't have a general idea of the entire game or the entire context of the game, as opposed to, just playing that one vertical slice like they did at E3. But it wasn't as bad. I was expecting worse, I think, because of what the media was saying. Too. And I didn't get that. I was like, okay, this isn't worse than like the No Russian mission. You know what I mean? If you guys remember that.
Oh, by the way, Captain Thug Nasty, that's a funny name, by the way. But he said the movie's called 12 Hours, and I think that is the movie I was mentioning before, with that one mission where you have to light up the night to see where the enemies are, and they're coming they're attacking your compound that you're trying to defend. I think that is that the name of that movie. But I do feel like it was not necessarily super overblown or anything, but it wasn't as bad as it was made out to be. The part where people were complaining about, oh, well, you have there's a woman holding a child. and when you're clearing this house and you can shoot her. I'm like, can you? Because I couldn't shoot her, and I'm not saying I wanted to shoot her, but when I saw her, I said, oh, this is that part. Let me see if I can shoot her, and I couldn't. So it was just like people were making a big deal about that, and you can't actually shoot her.
Yeah, I think they took that out. I think they may have taken that out.
Well, if that's the case, then cool. All right, because if people really have a problem with that and they decide, you know what, let's just not go that far with it, then cool. But there was another part where people were saying, like the part where the guy's holding someone hostage, a woman hostage, and potentially she could shoot you too. Like I didn't even realize that was the part because I shot straight through her. I was like, bump this. I'm sorry. You I'm not getting shot for you. Plus, I overheard her as I was, you going up the stairs and you hear like two people arguing.
Yeah, you do.
And I heard her saying, we can make it out of this. We can figure something out, something like that.
Yeah,
so
she
when
did say that.
So when your squad mate opens the door and you all aim down on her and he's got her, I'm like, man, nah, shot both of them. So yeah, I mean, like I never actually had to deal with it. I know some other people shot him and then she picks up a gun and shoots you.
Yeah.
And so that's a potential thing that can happen. But yeah, I never even saw that part. I didn't realize that was the part until like 2 missions later.
Yeah.
I just shot straight through her behind.
Yeah, I will.
And ask the question later.
Exactly. For
say what?
He said you shoot.
I didn't hear you for say. What you say?
I said you up here shooting people and asking questions later.
Hey man, it's I was in the situation, man. Like the game had me locked in. I was like, hey, look, I'm not trying to go down. Not for this. I got a digital wife and kids to go home to.
Digital wife, oh Jesus.
Slow-mo.
That's too funny. Right. Well, I will say this: visually, the game looks impressive. I was playing with ray tracing on. Game looks just phenomenal. I did hit a couple snags though on the PC, especially with the cutscenes. They would lock up sometimes. I think that happened to you too, right, Slow-mo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was. There was some desyncing of the voice.
Yes, that happened to me too. Yep.
Yeah. So it'll be like I would get a pause in the cutscene, and then it'll be a brief pause. It'll be like 1 second pause, and then it will continue, and then I would see the desync. But it only happened it's a lot of cutscenes. So it only happened like 2 or 3 times total. Yeah. For the whole playthrough. But.
Yep.
Did y'all both beat the campaign?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we both did. Yeah.
Oh, veteran difficulty?
No, I played it on normal difficulty.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. No, I didn't want to, I look, man, I don't have time to do challenges and stuff, and I just don't have time for that, man. So that's
who said challenges? It's not a challenge. This is how you play Call of Duty. Veteran difficulty.
Did you complete the campaign, sir?
I sure did.
Okay. Okay, so you did. So and you did it on veteran.
We might want to verify that, Slow-mo.
Yeah, I don't know. Because Forte be frauding out here, be saying he playing games. He playing his Destiny. Oh, he plays Destiny.
Isn't Destiny Destiny's?
Say what, man?
Last time I checked.
I didn't hear what you said before that.
I said Destiny's a game last time I checked.
Yeah, that's the only game that you play. Like I'm talking about other games.
Are you saying that's a bad thing, sir? Trying to say I'm not a gamer?
No, we're not saying that. We're just saying we're saying we don't think you beat Call of Duty. But let's move on to. I do want to move on to.
Forte just did the Twitter twist.
I know. Are you saying I beat women now? Like what?
The food that want beef?
You want beef?
You want beef?
Yeah. No beef to eat. I do want to mention some numbers regarding Call of Duty before we move on to Outer Worlds. Per Season Gaming, top-selling new premium game release of 2019 with more than 600 million in sell-through, biggest-selling digital opening in Activision history, set PlayStation 4 record with highest digital sales in first 3 days, sold more units in first 3 days than any other Call of Duty 3-day opening in this console generation, biggest Call of Duty PC launch ever. So, needless to say, this game is a hit.
This game dropped on what day? What was the day it dropped on?
Friday.
Friday. Yeah.
Yep.
So it hasn't even been a full week.
No, it hasn't been a full week.
They did 600 million in 3 days.
600 million in 3 days.
Yep.
Oh my god.
That game dropped on the 25th, which was the weekend, if I believe. Yeah, so it was over the weekend. Okay.
Yeah, it was over the weekend. 3-day weekend. Yeah, it was.
That's what happens when you go back to your roots, man, and just fine tune them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when was the last time we had news like that about Call of Duty? Because that used to be the norm.
Yeah, I think they said it was Black Ops 2. I'm trying to remember now in the article. It's been a while.
Let's be for real here, though. This game did that because of the name, and there's a very good chance that if Modern Warfare Remastered was sold separately, it would have did the same thing. It's just the fact that that game was bundled into a game that nobody wanted. So
you think it's that name recognition?
You think Modern Warfare Remastered would have sold like this?
Oh, Modern Warfare Remastered. Dude, people bought Infinite Warfare just to get Modern Warfare. That's the only reason they bought it. If they would have sold that thing separately for $39.99 like they did after the fact, you would have heard these same numbers from people. Because because Modern Warfare is by far, it's probably not their most popular franchise, but it's the best franchise that they have of all the Call of Duties, even though Black Ops 1 and 2 are really good. It's the best. To me, nothing tops the first 3 Black Ops, the first 3 Modern Warfare games. I love them. Only ones I beat.
Yeah.
So it's pretty safe to say when MPD comes out next month that at the top of the year-to-date list is going to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
NBA 2K.
Followed by 2K.
Now, I think this might outsell 2K this year.
I don't know, man.
Oh, yeah, it will.
I don't know.
You think so, B?
You talking about by the end of the year?
I'm talking about by the end of next month, like in the year, absolutely. But I think it's going to enter MPD being at the top, not just for the month of October, but for year to date as well.
I doubt it.
Year to date, it's gonna be a back and forth because 2K will go on sale pretty soon. So
for $30, baby.
Yeah, once it goes on sale, you'll see another high spike of people jumping into 2K.
That game is trash. I'm not buying that.
And you're gonna see that VC sale go through the roof
again. All right, guys. I want to get to Obsidian's new game.
Outer Trash.
No, it's not Outer Trash. That's not what it's called, Forte.
Is that the game? I thought that's what you called it on Twitter the other day.
I never said that, sir.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's why you were showing off all those screenshots. Like, this is utter trash.
Those skyboxes. Yeah, so Outer Worlds actually released on Friday as well, and I picked it up on my PC. Thank you.
You didn't pick it up. You just played it on Game Pass, sir.
Yeah, I picked it up on Game Pass on PC, Forte, for free for $1, as Lord King says.
$1.
Ainsley, have you played Outer Worlds?
Oh yeah, I've been playing it nonstop.
All right, sir. Let's get your thoughts on Outer Worlds, man. Like, what are your thoughts so far of the game?
Yeah, I love it. So I love Western RPGs. They're just I love it. Like Mass Effect and just dialogue driven. If you go back a long time to like Wing Commander.
Wow, you went there. Wow.
3DO, Wing Commander 3, Mark Hamill.
Yes.
So yeah, dialogue driven, character focused, like Western RPGs are my thing. So this game like couldn't really be much more up my alley. So you could probably say I'm a little biased, but yeah, I've got I don't know, I've got at least 15 hours into it. I took off Friday actually off of work and played mostly that all day, and I'm reviewing it for my site and just putting the time into it when I can, and I love it to death. I just think it's I don't know, it's just got an old school feel to it. I mean, when they talk about Obsidian and Obsidian's roots, and they talk about like Fallout New Vegas and what they've done in the past, it just shows through. It's got a lot of personality. The characters have a lot of personality. The writing is fantastic. It's got a great sense of humor. In a gameplay perspective, it obviously from a shooter perspective, it's not going to feel like Borderlands or Destiny. You know, it's just not up to that level. But that's not really what the game is about. It's
Ainsley,
more
it feels
about
better than Fallout. I'll give it that.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, nowadays that's not really saying a whole lot.
Fallout 4.
So I mean, I don't know.
Fallout trash.
Yeah, I'm a big Fallout guy as well. I don't know. 4 didn't grab me as much as I wanted. 76 we don't need to talk about. And Outer Worlds is just it's hitting all those right notes for me personally.
Let me actually, Ainsley, like for me playing it, I'm probably not as far as you are. I'm probably about 3.5 hours into the game, but I felt like as I'm playing this, I'm like, as I'm playing this, I'm not a fraud, sir. I have I had Call of Duty and some other responsibilities to take care of. You know, as I'm playing this game, I was thinking to myself, this is kind of like a middle finger to Fallout and then Bethesda. Maybe that's not the intention of the developer, but to me, I'm like, you know what? This is a big fu to Bethesda. Like, this is what Fallout should play like. You know, look, the character models aren't, you know, like all like Call of Duty like level, right? In the Outer Worlds, but they're still much better than Fallout 4, and I took that as kind of like, you know, there weren't these crazy glitches or bugs like you mentioned Fallout 76. So to me, I kind of interpreted like a middle finger to Bethesda, saying, "Hey, this is how you make a true, you know, Western RPG with memorable characters." And not that the Fallout characters aren't memorable, but like you said, the voice acting's great. I thought the UI was pretty intuitive. It wasn't hard to kind of navigate through. And the game just looks beautiful. There's a lot of color pop. Kind of reminded me a little bit. My first planet reminded me a little bit of No Man's Sky and some of the planets you go to in that game. So
yeah, it does look a little bit like that. Yeah, it's yeah, no, I don't know if, you know, most people know, right, that, you know, there's several guys at Obsidian that were at Interplay, if you're going way back, that made like Fallout 1 and 2. And I was listening to an interview. Yeah, and you know, some of those guys, you know, they were talking about how they always wanted to take Fallout in the 3D direction, the third person or first person direction. And when the Fallout IP got sold and Bethesda nabbed it up, to them that was like a slap in the face. And so, you know, they talked about how it was really fun to basically get to create this new IP and do what they always wanted to do, but without, you know, any restrictions, right? So one thing I found interesting is they set up this world with the Outer Worlds, obviously, but this universe to be expandable, right? So as big of a hit as it seems this game is, it's very likely we'll see this game expand into the future, and they could go a lot of places with it. Whereas Fallout seems to be kind of, you know, stuck in that post-apocalyptic, and hell, who knows what Bethesda's doing at this point with that series.
I tell you what they're doing right now is they're putting parts of their games behind a $100 paywall, which is totally fucking ridiculous. Like I still, we talked about this last week. Like I still don't get that, Ainsley. Like, I don't understand what's going on with Bethesda. Why anyone there thought that was a good idea? Like it just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
No, we talked about the exact same thing. Man. Yeah, I don't get it, and it's not even. They try to say this is what our players wanted is private servers. It's not even really what they got. It's kind of private. It's kind of a half-assed version of it for the same price. It's bizarre, man. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Half-assed. That's like the Bethesda motto this gen.
Right. Yeah. Hey, how do you? We're getting off on a tangent, but I was about to go on a rant of how do you have those IPs that are just world-renowned, beloved IPs and just screw them up that badly? I just don't know what they're doing.
The hubris, their own hubris, man. I mean, I that's what I'm saying. Like to me, Obsidian, like this is. I'm playing this game and I'm like, you know what? F you, Bethesda. Like, this is what Fallout should feel like. This is what Fallout should look like. And it plays, it's like, it's almost like a love letter to Fallout. Like you just said, they wanted to make Fallout, you know, first person. They didn't get a chance to because if the series got sold to Bethesda. You know, Tim Kaine was Tim Kaine and I forget who else, the other gentleman's name, who's at Obsidian and behind this game. You know, they were behind Fallout 2. You know, and you know, there's a lot of nods, I think, to some other Western RPGs. I get a little Mass Effect vibes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It basically just showed BioWare and Bethesda, what the hell have you guys been doing? Like, this is how it should be done. And as far as I'm aware, I mean, I haven't checked into this recently, but I believe Obsidian did this with smaller teams, smaller budget, right? So
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, you think about their potential now as they're hiring up and becoming a key pillar in Xbox Game Studios and having that Microsoft money and freedom. You just imagination runs wild. You just, I hope obviously they don't go and get that same hubris in a few years, but it feels good right now anyway. They've hit something right here with this game.
Yeah, no, they did, and I haven't gotten far enough to. Well, I think I've seen a little bit of this, like where, I think the one knock with Western RPGs is that they're often just big for the sake of being big, right? And I don't get the sense that Obsidian set out to make just big open world for the sake of making an open world, right? There's certain aspects of the game that still feel linear, but also feel like you're also in an open world. And I feel like, at least my early impressions, the game doesn't seem to be wasting your time with too much exploration, where like with Fallout 4, to me it was like just like overload ADD. I need to explore everything, right?
I think it's more on BioWare side of that than that Bethesda Fallout side, where you could get a little bit of open world, but the narrative and the options are a little bit more focused towards the story.
Like KOTOR was like that.
Yep. Exactly right. Yeah, another all-time classic.
Yeah, KOTOR is great as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, what the hell happened to BioWare?
That's just
Welcome to the depressing podcast.
We all
Sorry,
sigh. We all, we're all fans of BioWare. And it's just like, oh god, what happened? But no, that's I think the writing is spot on. There's certain like plot twists to this game that are really interesting, like things that, because of my actions that happened, that I had to go back and kind of correct. And I'm trying to, like, I don't want to give too many spoilers away. But there's one mission early on where, my action, whatever I chose, would have had a negative impact on one side or the other, right? And I chose one side, but I was able to kind of rectify the side that was impacted. And I don't think I've ever had that kind of experience with regards to choice in a game. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've ever experienced it. I thought that was kind of cool that you could kind of, I guess, politic a little bit, if that's the right word, in this game, or even though maybe you didn't make the right choice, but you can kind of make things right in a way. Do you know what mission I'm talking about?
I do, yeah. Well, at least I think I do.
You talking about the very first mission?
Yeah, exactly.
The first main
the very first main story plot mission.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but yeah.
Edgewater.
Edgewater. That's the name of the town. I agree with that. I think I changed my mind on what I was going to do like 3 times before I finished the mission, because it was just you would get more information and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of see your point there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh shit, I didn't think about it that way.
The characters,
it's great that a game does that.
No, and the characters give you such like compelling reasons why you should pick them, or listen to them, And like Slobo, I was like you, man. Like I changed my mind like multiple times.
Yeah, I went into the final decision all set, and then a few things happened, and I was like, "Oh shit, I don't know what I'm gonna do." And the mere fact that a game can make you think that way, when in reality it's a game, is really, it means the game's well written, right? And I'm quite a bit further than that now, and I would say that's happened many times over. Where like I'll make a decision, I'm like, oh my god, I kind of want to reload my save, you know what I mean, and see if I go back a little ways and change some things, what happens. I'm trying not to though, because I want to play it a couple times and do different things. But I think it's cool that they'll present you with choices, and really, there's no really right or wrong choice. It's just different choices, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'll try to let you guys know like what my mindset was like doing any spoilers, but I chose one side, but then I changed the leadership of the others of that side too. So it was like I made a happy compromise that made everyone somewhat happy for the most part. There's some people who weren't happy about the decision, but I think I improved Edgewater overall.
I left. I pissed one side completely off. So
Yeah, me too, man. Every time I
went the
go
wrong
back
way.
there now, it's like World War III there, man.
Wait, so B, you played the game then, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
So
Man.
so wait,
I'm
so
like 20 hours in on there.
oh shit, okay, so you set the place on fire.
Oh yeah.
So tell
You
us
know,
about that, man. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, because the first mission, you get introduced to, one of the, mainline characters or supposed mainline characters in there, telling you to go do something for them, and this is how you're gonna eventually be able to leave the planet. So you listen to one side and you go listen to what the other side has to say, and I kind of made my decision based on what they were telling me. So I chose one side and went back, and they were like, "Oh, okay, we see who you're rolling with," and they're like, "I got some answers for you," and they had guards, draw guns on me and try to take me out. So luckily, I was able to get out of there and leave the planet. But I've had to revisit a couple of times, and every time, man, they're ready to go. So. It's definitely been a fun experience, man. I love the amount of choices and options and just the different conversations you can get into, and how one branching conversation can take you down another path. And what I mean, there's just so much stuff to unravel and discover that it's just been so enjoyable. So I'm really having fun with it, man. I can't wait to really play it more and finish that campaign and play it a couple of different times just to go back and make different decisions.
You know what's amazing though? This isn't even the game that convinced Xbox to purchase Obsidian. It's the other unannounced game that they're working on. So that's like I'm really excited because I'm like, if they saw this game and was like, all right, but that other game makes us really want to say we need to get you under the umbrella so that this is going to be just within our ecosystem. I think that's pretty exciting.
No, that's really exciting, and I can't wait to play their next game on my PC. I mean, I'm just like I am floored.
Yeah, you guys weren't kidding, were you?
Nope.
No. Hey,
he is all in on the master race thing, man. I tell you, he's like what's the character's name with Dave Chappelle in when he's the black white supremacist with the PC master race.
Clayton Bigsby.
Tyrone Biggins.
Yeah, he's Clayton Bigsby. Yeah.
You want to see my face? PC power.
One bad mother says First Planet and Outer Worlds had more substance than the combined output of Bethesda and BioWare.
Hey man, that's facts.
You can't argue it.
I can't say I disagree with that. That kind of hurts, but it's true.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. I hope Bethesda gets her shit together after seeing this game, man. And you know what's interesting? I think the media's kind of taken a liking to this game because, some of the I really think because of the debacle over Bethesda now. But just
you have to think that it puts them on notice though.
It does.
They announced Starfield before we knew what Outer Worlds was.
That's great.
Starfield just got delayed.
Yeah, and they just announced that they were delaying it. So, I mean, what is Starfield going to be? Are they going to be outdone by Outer Worlds before Starfield even comes out?
Maybe.
How do they delay Starfield without even giving us a release date?
Bethesda.
Hey, B.
Delayed. It didn't have a release date though.
I think the Bethesda fan pass is starting to wear out.
You think so?
Oh, it's gone. I think.
You think
so.
it's gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are like definitely being a lot more vocal about it now because I think they used to kind of get like that pass because they were that developer that created the experiences that you wanted, but with the debacle after debacle, I think it's getting to a point now where even like the most hardcore fans like well,
what about
rock this.
How funny is the timing that Outer Worlds came out when they announced Fallout first?
Right.
Like that timing was just impeccable to put Bethesda under the microscope.
Yeah. That's a great point, man. I mean, like, I have been a Bethesda fan for a long time. And I got to be honest, because I've enjoyed their games, but not.
I think many of us
anymore.
Because the fan.
Yeah, I think many of us. It's just they've lost their way.
Yeah. I
was always more of a fan, like Bia tell you, and Bia says the same thing. I was always more a fan of like Bethesda Softworks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
As opposed to Bethesda proper. Because I always thought that they had the more solid, better games, in my opinion. I was never a big Fallout person or Oblivion person, but I loved Wolfenstein, I love Dishonored, all those games. But even and this kind of went under the radar as far as like the whole, even some of the Bethesda software stuff looks a little spooky with Wolfenstein Youngblood. That wasn't like well received. And then like whatever's going on with what's the Tokyo the Ghost game?
Yeah, Ghostwire.
Yeah, Ghostwire.
Yeah.
Like what's her name? She they brought her out on stage. She was like a darling at E3, and then we still don't really know what happened there. Like why she all of a sudden just left. It's just sort of odd,
Yeah.
Then they delayed Doom.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
I'm actually okay with the Doom delay. As long as they, they're working on polishing it. But I mean, you're right, E. Like there's some spooky stuff going on at Bethesda right now. I'm at a point now. I'm over them right now until they put out a new. If their next game is good, I'll definitely check it out. But they're definitely not on my radar anymore. And
this way, they put Skyrim remastered on
Yeah.
PS5 and
Xbox. That was gonna be a long title, man. Skyrim for the 20th time.
Skyrim redid.
Hey, B, you know what we can count on Starfield having is ham faces.
For sure, man.
They're still using the same engine.
No, I think
they did say they were going to update their engine, and I think they're really going to update like the visual side of it. I think the worst part of their engine, the logic part, is what they're going to keep, because they said they wanted to still allow the modding community to do what they do, which is basically save their ass and fix their games for them after they come out, which is still just like doesn't really help with anything. Like, why are you updating your engine if it's still going to be a buggy piece of
But see, that
crap?
like we just said, that might be the problem for them now, because I mean, Obsidian is putting this game out and kind of putting them on notice with a shorter game, a more concise game, and that's sort of showing those chinks in that armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So if they come with like the next gen with Starfield with those same Fallout bugs, that charm isn't there anymore. I don't think it's there.
The charm is over
anymore.
Does anyone think Todd might be high?
Hey, Todd was running on fan power, man. Now he's sort of like, I can't get off the ground anymore.
Yeah. Plus, you got those up and comers, man. That Greedfall game was well received as well. So, what I mean, you got developers like that. They continue to work at their craft and put out great games. Some of those old developers might get pushed to the side.
Yeah, I mean, and
Greedfall was only made with like 30 developers. That's a very small team.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's more development teams coming on board every day. I mean, this industry's growing.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of that, I think, where the kings get taken down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, when you make subpar products in a competitive landscape, that's going to happen. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, and it's unfortunate because given Bethesda's story and the games, the great games that they put out in the past, but it's just I'm like I said, I'm done. I'm just done.
You guys know anybody who's down for what they're doing with Fallout 76?
I don't know anyone.
I don't know one person that's like, yeah, I'm with it.
I don't even think I don't even think Anchorman's championing this.
No. Yeah, he would be probably the only one I thought that could find like a silver lining. I didn't hear him say anything. He's been about Outer Worlds pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So
exactly what we were just talking about.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
I think everyone's been about Outer Worlds. They want, I tell you what, though, that Obsidian pickup for Microsoft that's going to be huge for them. And I can't wait to see what they have next console gen.
Well, as Slow-Mo said, it's exactly. It's that interesting that this game's so big and yet their supposed AAA main project we haven't even seen yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm digging the fact that so many people are like into this game.
Me too.
Me too.
Real.
No, there's a lot of positive buzz about it. Like, it's really like, cool to see that, right? And, you know, I was like, I tell you what, at the beginning, I was a little burned out. I know that sounds crazy. Like, how can you be burned out by a game you haven't even played? But I think it's hard to release a game like this that does a lot of things that other games that released earlier in the generation did. Does that make sense? You know, like, we already played Fallout 4. We played The Witcher 3. I played Persona 5. So I played like these long games, these big games with these big worlds, these dialogue-driven games where, you know, you make choices. And, you know, I felt a little burned out, but then something changed. Like, I think after I finished that first mission and I kind of felt like how unique that was, I was like, wait a minute, like, they're onto something here. And you guys are right. There's a lot of positive buzz about this game. And that's just exciting to see, especially I think at this point of the console generation, you know, considering everything else that's come before it.
I wanted to say something that I thought that was really a good point that Skill Up had made when he did his review for the Outer World, and he said that I think he thinks that a lot of people are really resonating and really enjoying the Outer Worlds because it's like something that we've been missing for a while. And with the failings of Bethesda and BioWare and not really delivering on this kind of game, this kind of Western RPG, that's why he thinks a lot of people really gravitated towards Greedfall. Now, he did a review of Greedfall. He didn't really think it was all that good. I haven't played it yet. I don't really have an opinion on it, but he thinks it's because of Greedfall really having like those dialogue choices and companions that are not just cardboard cutouts and one-dimensional, that were very interesting and great story, a great flow to the story, that people were starved for that kind of game. And so they really gravitated towards Greedfall, and now the Outer Worlds comes out and it's actually a quality way better than what Greedfall was, and people are really digging it because it's the kind of game that they have been waiting for the longest time, but haven't really had the chance to get that because you wanted it with Andromeda and you didn't get it. You wanted that with 76, you didn't get it. Didn't really get it with, so a lot of people didn't really feel like they got it with Fallout 4. And then, you know, and of course, Anthem. So it was just like, yeah, you know,
Sir, Anthem is a classic.
Classic failure. I'm glad Obsidian is still, you know, still understands what their roots are and are still giving us the kind of content that we're looking for from them. So I'm glad we're still getting that at least.
And I haven't even I haven't started, and I'm dying to. I just haven't had the time to really like jump in. And it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to dabble for like 30, 40 minutes and then have to like stop. So I said I'm waiting for when I get that good block to really sit, because I plan on spending a few hours when I finally jump in. But I think to what you were saying, Enrique, I think it's a timing thing also, because like you mentioned, like Witcher and this and that. But from since Witcher up till now, like Slow-Mo said, nothing's really delivered in this department. And here, they've kind of put this game out, and it's not disrespecting your time. Like it's specifically built for you to, get through a playthrough and then be ready to jump into another one if you choose to. And there you can do your couple hundred hours if you want to, but if you only want to do 30 hours or so, you're good. And I think that's something also people are gravitating towards in today's gaming climate, because Ainsley and I were talking about, there's just time is just like not there, and there's so many games coming.
Yeah, that's a great point.
On a constant flow,
Yeah. I was gonna say too, if you definitely find that block to jump in, because this game makes time disappear.
I sat down. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I told my wife the other night I was playing. It was like 9, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna finish this mission." Famous last words. And I think I went up to bed at like 1:30 in the morning. I was like, Jesus, what the hell happened?
Right.
Oh my God.
Like we were talking about, and then work the next day was hell, but it was fun.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, speaking of games, and trying to get through the Outer Worlds, there is another game that's coming out next week, but the review is coming out Friday, and we did see the final trailer for Death Stranding, And I gotta say, guys, like the last trailer I thought was pretty cool. I actually liked it. It kind of deviates away from. Look, I've been saying this for a long time. I think Kojima's been trolling us, like with the whole Norman Reedus peeing, and he's him saying, if you pee on the mushroom will grow, whatever it was. And then the thing with Conan O'Brien, Conan O'Brien being in the game, and then Jeff Keighley. Obviously, that is part of the game, but I think Kojima's been focusing on that a little bit. To kind of like just, I feel like he likes to fuck with our minds, and he's had a history of trolling, by the way. But this last trailer I thought was really interesting. Like I really felt like it kind of, tied in, all the footage and everything that we had previously seen about Death Stranding, and the reviews come out on Monday, or not Monday, this Friday. So, typically when Sony, lifts an embargo a week early, I think they're pretty usually confident that the game's going to review well. I've heard that this game could potentially get some 10s. Who knows if that's going to happen?
Potentially. It's
Yes.
Kojima. You know damn well it's going to get 10s. It got 10s already.
Wasn't the Days Gone embargo like right the day before, the day of, or something like that?
It was like the day of, yeah. So IGN's going to give it a 10. But it's like, Slow-Mo thinks there's going to be other sites that give it a 10 too. But let me ask you, Ainsley, is this a game that you're anticipating, man? And if you are, if you had to take a guess, what do you think this game's going to review as? Is it going to get the Kojima bump, as people call it?
Well, I have no idea where any of you guys stand on this game, so I don't know if what I'm about to say is going to get me kicked off or what. I'm not a Kojima fan. For whatever reason, I don't know. There's a couple reasons. I Metal Gear Solid, obviously played them all, been there. I don't think that series is as great as everyone. Well, I won't say everyone, but as most people think it is. Not to say it's bad, but it's not. I don't think it holds that weight for me. Kojima himself. See, I told you I'm about to piss some people off.
No. You're talking my language. So please continue.
Kojima seems like a nice guy in the sense of personality, but there's a certain sense of ego, being egotistical, and just kind of into himself too much. I don't know. He just doesn't rub me the right way. I'll put it that way. And I think this game and the hype that has been around it for the past couple of years, ever since it was first mentioned, has gotten just way, way too big. I'm not wording this very well, but long story short, I'm not the biggest Kojima fan. I'll certainly check the game out, of course. I mean, I played damn near everything. And I'm really interested to see where it lands from the honest reviewers. I do think it will get a bump from specific sites and people. Just because, we have people talking about it being game of the year. They don't even know what the hell it is. But I think, I don't know. I have it landing somewhere in the high 80s from if you want to talk about like a meta or open critic score, that's where I have it. I think I said we predicted on SG. I think I said 88, but I think it could be higher, just given what some of the scores. But I don't know. I'm interested to see what the game is like, and if it's good, certainly I'll check it out. But I'm not that interested in it right now, and I don't think Kojima deserves the kind of godly praise he gets from some people.
Sir, I salute you. Now these other guys,
Ainsley,
you may need to get your fireman's jacket on, because they might.
And it's weird because I have friends who are like, I know people who think Metal Gear Solid 1 is one of the greatest games of all time, and they think Kojima is.
Yeah, to me, it's one of the best. Because I think during that time frame, you got to remember we were going from 2D to 3D. You're introducing CD audio and what that disc meant to be able to put more realistic looking visuals, right? And he just took that ball and ran with it with Metal Gear Solid. I will say this: I didn't think Metal Gear Solid 5 was a 10. I don't think
publications did.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I don't think it was a 10. I thought it had a very strong opening and then just kind of fell off the cliff from there.
So actually, let me say one thing on that, which kind of, I don't know, speaks to my view So I played Metal Gear Solid 5 for the first time for a series we did for Season Gaming, and like I said, not the biggest fan, but I wanted to try it. And when you play that game, every time you go to a landing spot, right, it's like a little mini chapter.
Yeah.
And the most telling thing to me about Kojima was that every time you started that chapter, every time you went to the new location, there were credits, and his name was in the credits about 8 times. Every single chapter you played the game, this was written by Hideo Kojima, directed by Hideo Kojima, produced by Hideo Kojima. And I was looking at Bert from SG, and I'm like, is he for real with this? Like, why do I need to see his name 8 times every 45 minutes? I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now.
Ainsley, I am a Kojima fan, but I will agree with you. That is a little obnoxious. And I agree with you on that. And that might be that he maybe feels like he's on God status, I guess, because they are people that like really put him on, like a pedestal. Like I think
Enrique, that was a mistranslation. It was just a mistranslation in the text. And it wasn't meant that way. No.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
But yeah, no, I know. But yeah, no, people put him on that godly status, and I don't know. Don't mean to say he doesn't deserve credit for the things he's done, but I just don't have him at that high of a level.
Yeah, I don't think he's the great storyteller that some people think he is. I do think he's.
Oh no, not at all.
I do think what Kojima's done is he's great at really pushing creative boundaries, and I think that's where I rank. Like I said this last week on Brap, I would put him up there with Miyamoto as being one of the more influential developers in the history of the industry. Not because I think he's a great storyteller. I think people think he is. I don't think he is, but I think he just pushes this creative envelope that no one does, and that's why I'm looking forward to this game, because I think it's going to be kind of outside the box, and I'm all for that. Anything game. That's why I like a lot of the smaller development studios, the indie games. Like After Party. I can't wait to play that because those games kind of think outside the box. They provide a different, unique type of experience, and I think with Kojima he does that kind of at a AAA level. But
that's fair.
Yeah, but that's just my 2 cents. I
don't know about that.
Go ahead. No, I'm gonna say. No, I'm a Kojima fan. I do think there are people who super stand, but I think there are people who super stand for a lot of different things in this community. From Miyamoto to, even you look at like Phil Spencer, people stand for him.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody going Todd Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it just depends on like the way, like we all have like our things that we're fans of, right? When it comes to storytelling, yeah, sometimes I can admit it's hard to follow some of the stuff Kojima's doing, but what I do appreciate is, like Enrique said, is like he will push the envelope. And it doesn't necessarily always make sense, but sometimes it's an interesting take on things. I like that creative weirdness that he like kind of portrays. That's just me though.
Yeah, I will say that I do agree that I do think as a innovator and a creator in the video game industry, he is up there with Miyamoto. I think he's done some things that we still see foundationally in gaming today, like with Metal Gear Solid 1, and he's innovated in those ways. His games just never really I never really enjoyed his games too much, so it's not really for me. But I do respect his craft and the work he's put in.
Mm-hmm. Forte, it doesn't sound like you are a big Kojima fan.
No, I am. I love Kojima. It's just that we're expecting. Okay, so like you brought up the whole thing about indie games and stuff, and that's why you like those type of games, and because they think outside the box a lot, and that's the reason a lot of people like those games. My problem with this game is it's not even a problem with just Kojima in his run up to this game. It's mostly what he's doing with it. Like, I can understand not knowing what a indie game is about because there's no budget really to promote the game like that. So you really, you're going into the game completely eyes shut, closed, and you're just hoping you get a good experience out of it. Where with this game is, the man can't even tell. We're all still trying to figure out, like, it's more interesting to find out what this game's about than anything else. It's like, we don't even know what we're about to play. It could be a myriad of different things. And there's been trailers and documentaries and 45 to an hour minute, gameplay sessions. And people still don't know what the hell this game is. So, for me, it's like he's literally living off of what he did with the Metal Gear franchise. And I salute that, because the man is a living legend when it comes to that. I love all the Metal Gear games. It's just that this is the first game he's made where I just like scratch my head every time I look at it. It's like, the Sony, like, this is just some inside knowledge. We had a conference call. Our Sony rep got on there, was like, yo, when y'all are selling Call of Duty, I need you guys to really talk about Death Stranding, because it's not performing as well as Sony wants it to perform. And I told him, I was like, unless you can get Kojima to come out here and tell us what the hell this game's about, it's not gonna sell. Not like that. So it's like, for me, it's like, once they started doing these gameplay reveals and trailers, and then even Kojima comes out in interviews saying he don't even know what Death Stranding's about. And I truly, honestly believe that to an extent. I think he knows what the premise is. He might just be placating to everybody on that type of shit too, because he knows a lot of people keep saying, what the fuck is this game about? But ultimately, dude, this game is like such an enigma that I'm more interested to see how it plays out than actually playing the game at this point. And it's kind of crazy. I am getting it day one. I'm getting the collector's edition with the I gotta find out where I'm gonna put the two with the baby in it. I gotta figure out how my wife's gonna feel about that when she walks in the house.
Can you do an unboxing video, Forte, with the baby?
I am gonna do one. I'm gonna make sure I'm doing it in the dark too. I'm gonna do it in the dark when I turn the light on. I'm gonna do one. But ultimately, I don't want to say it's going to be a bad game, because we don't know. It's just that right now I just look real suspect at this game, because we hadn't had all of these gameplay reveals and we still can't 100% say what this game is about. All we know is he's building connections and connecting people together again. And that's okay. And Norman Reedus is in the game. That's it. That's all I know.
And it's like there's a lot of supernatural stuff and even time travel type stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's like it's like, okay, think about it like this. It's like Uncharted. Did we know anything about the supernatural stuff that was going to be Uncharted? We didn't know about that stuff till we got to the end of the game. It's like we just thought it was like a male version of Tomb Raider. So it's like, oh, this will be cool. Male version of Tomb Raider. Story is actually pretty good. And we got to the end of the games and we were like, holy crap, this is a departure. This is crazy. And it actually, kind of, wrapped up a little allure into the game, where this game is trying to give us all of this sci-fi stuff off the back. And it's like, okay, but what is the actual substance of this game going to be? That's what I want to know. What are we actually doing moment to moment in this game?
Peeing on mushrooms.
I got a question for you guys, especially us guys that have PCs. Now that it's been
there's only two of us.
Announced. Well, no.
Yeah, that's true. There's only two. There's only two of us. One of us doesn't want to. One of us doesn't want to, take on their PC heritage.
So, look, my question is: now that it's been announced,
direct a question towards me, Slobo. Yes.
Now that it's been announced that the game is definitely coming to PC, and we can get into a discussion on that whole deal.
My God, yeah.
But are any of you guys going to forego playing this on PlayStation and just wait until the PC version comes out next summer?
No. I am too.
This game will be spoiled by then.
Yes,
if you wait.
Exactly. Great point, Forte.
It will be attempted to be spoiled.
No, dude, it's like you're going into this game knowing nothing already. Every little thing you hear or see on Twitter is a spoiler for this game because you don't know anything.
And I feel like
good.
And I feel like this game.
What Forte when they do that Destiny, the Death Stranding tie-in.
Wait, you trying to say? Wait! You trying to say that the what's the names are the floating Doritos? They're the Doritos that we're going to get the space Doritos.
Nah, they're gonna have Guardian armor that's like
god,
like themed in Death Stranding.
Yeah, you're gonna have the backpack from Death Stranding on the.
They're gonna pull a Gallahorn. The Gallahorn's gonna be a pre-order bonus in the game.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I will say that I am contemplating not buying it on PlayStation 4 and just waiting for the PC.
You will have it spoiled though, Slow-Mo. I'm telling you.
I'm fine with that because I don't care. I don't care about the game that much.
No, because
see, that's what I'm talking about.
Slow-Mo, wait.
No, look,
what's gonna happen?
Final Fantasy 7 remake? Oh, there's no question. I'm not waiting for anything. I'm buying it on PlayStation 4 as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
This isn't a game that I care for that much. Okay. I'm interested somewhat, and I want to play it.
You interested just to know what the hell the game's about, basically.
Slow-Mo, here's what's gonna happen with Death Stranding. People are gonna be like, holy shit. Two things are gonna happen. People are gonna be like, holy shit, this is amazing. You know?
Yep.
Or they're gonna be like, that's it?
That's it.
Yeah, and so Slow-Mo, like you don't
you're gonna get fast one on us.
But the question is it a bad thing to for once not have a game or some games that you don't know everything about.
You don't even know what the actual release date of this game is going to be on PC.
It said summer 2020, so it's it's 3 months is going to be. So I'm fine with that.
Let Eric finish his what he's going to say. Go ahead, E.
Oh no, I was just saying. I think that can be sort of a cool thing too, not knowing every little thing, because nowadays we're inundated with like every little piece of knowledge. Like the game maker wants you to know everything before you actually pick the game up.
You don't even know what the game is.
I'm not arguing that. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying.
Just making sure.
I'm just saying, can that not be a good thing? Not knowing everything about a game.
I need to know. I need to at least know what the hell I'm doing in the game. I don't have to know who the end game boss is and all this other stuff. I need to know what is the day-to-day moment.
Forte will never survive the arcade generation.
I did survive it, sir. I survived.
Go ahead, man.
You gotta forget.
But what's funny?
We're spoiled as gamers now, though.
You're spoiled.
We don't live in the arcade.
No,
we don't live in the arcade like we used to.
No.
Go ahead, B. So that's what I'm saying is I kind of like the fact that it is sort of just out there, and like you said, it's either going to be the bomb or it's going to be a turd. We don't know. I'm just saying I'm looking forward to the fact that I still really don't know.
Yeah.
So Slow-Mo, you mean to tell me everything about every game that you play?
Wait a minute, me? I didn't say that was Forte.
Forte.
Say again.
You mean to tell me you know all the details about every game that you play?
I know the premise around every game I play.
Okay.
I do. Like when I played Mass Effect, I knew what the premise of Mass Effect was. You
don't know the premise of Death Stranding, though? It's you're connecting.
What premise? It's no premise.
You're connecting America back together. Like you're connecting the different cities and stuff that got disconnected.
Okay. That sounds good.
I'm just telling you, that's what it is. That's part of it.
That just sounds like, what is that? What actually is that, though?
It's a Strand game.
You know what the funny thing is?
So you say you played all the Metal Gear Solid games, right?
Yes.
What was the premise of Metal Gear Solid?
Oh, well, no, see, that's unfair. That's unfair. Because once you play the first one, no. The first one, you understood it because the premise was pretty much set in stone. And the first one would be an action espionage game. You pretty much knew that. Once you start with the first one, the second and third one, you kind of just jump in because you played the first one. That's pretty much how Now I'm not going to sit here and tell you like what the hell was Metal Gear Solid 5 about. Really, what was all these different spin-offs and stuff about? I played them, but it was mostly because I just played Metal Gear at that point. It wasn't because of anything else. I just took what I knew from Metal Gear and just like added it to the other games. But for the most part, if you're going to start a franchise, it's like, I need to have some type of jumping off point to like say, what am I doing in this game? That's just me.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. I think just the fact that Kojima has showed just the different people who are going to be in the game. I think that's got a lot of people hype about it too.
Yeah, he's going to be on the characters. He's going to be on the scrolling cast list for like 6 of them.
Your Forte.
Yeah.
When you first saw Destiny, did you know what the game was about?
I sure did, and that's why I was pissed off.
I didn't want to throw it out there. I knew something.
No, you could throw it out there. No. Guess what? You could absolutely throw it out there. You know what? Because they did a really good job of lying to us for the whole first 2 years of the development of this game, telling us that we were going to get all these great things and we're going to be able to go to these different planets and fight like marauders and stuff like that. And it was really interesting and really cool. And then the final version of the game came out and it was a lie.
You still play it every day.
That's different.
No. But see, there is. You already know why I play it every day, because the game that was supposed to take me off of it, called Halo Master Chief Collection, came out of the gate broken, and there was no game that could replace that game for me other than Destiny. And unfortunately, fortunately for Bungie, I stayed with Destiny because it was the only thing like it.
See what you started, Ainsley?
That's too funny.
I know why I play games, but I'll also say that I got tricked with Destiny. So,
all right, guys.
15 million people got tricked by Destiny. Unfortunately,
I think by Friday, once the embargo is lifted and reviews are out, I think there's going to be a lot of conversation going on about the game, and I think there's going to be a lot of positive reactions to the game and positive reviews, and I think there are going to be a few negative ones that are totally trashing the game, but I think the positives are going to outweigh the negatives, and I think we're going to really know what the game is about, and I think that's really going to start more people going out to pre-order the game. So for a while, like
has anything to do with it, it will.
You couldn't get any of the extra editions or whatever, that none of the collector's editions. All that stuff was sold out. But I see it.
20 copies.
Except for the ones that
they only made 20 copies of the game.
The Sony fanboys returned when they found out the game was coming to PC.
I don't understand that nonsense.
Dummies.
I didn't get that at all.
I don't understand that. It's the most dumbest thing ever. Like somebody read. I saw that. I'm like, really? So real quick,
there's probably 3 people that did that. Honestly, not a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, B, real quick.
That's the fanboy programming is weird.
Yeah,
that's true.
Guys, I want to wrap up this topic real quick because I do want to get to one more quick topic. B, what is your meta score prediction for Death Stranding?
I'm going 89.
89. Forte.
86.
Eric.
89, 90.
You gotta pick one, man.
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
Maybe I don't.
82. That's what we're going to say.
All right, so we'll go with 89 for Eric.
Okay, no, Enrique, I'll do it. I'll say 89.
All right.
I'll play your game, Enrique. I'll play your little game.
Slow-mo.
93.
All right.
Oh, God.
Man.
Ainsley, I believe you said 86. Is that correct?
88.
88. All right. I'm gonna go with 91.
Not so Slow-mo's the highest and Gaming Forte's the lowest.
If Slow-mo wouldn't hit it out of his bump in.
Yeah, that's how I think. I think the game should be at 88, but it's gonna get like a 5-point bump.
It's gonna get a 5-point bump from all the developers that love Kojima.
Yep.
Freaking I'm trying to tell you, what's they gonna go around and he's gonna make his round, say, man, make sure y'all give Kojima that 90 so I can make him win Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
And he gonna give him that back rub when he come up and get his award. I told you it was gonna happen. Yeah.
Oh, that's nasty. Just stop that. Stop that, Slow-mo. People, everyone in the live chat, give us your prediction, your Metacritic predictions for Death Stranding. Actually, C Black Rider said 107.
He's probably right though. He's literally calculating inflation of those review numbers Kojima over the next week.
Oh my goodness. Jesus. All right, guys. I want to move to the one last quick topic. In the spirit of Halloween, which is tomorrow, and actually, people in my neighborhood are trying to postpone Halloween to Friday because it's raining here. But anyhow, so I want to know. Go around the panel real quick, and guys, tell me what your most scariest video game is. You guys know I don't do scary video games. I'll get to mine last, but I do want to go to our special guest this evening, Ainsley. Ainsley, what is your most memorable or scariest video game experience?
Wow. I don't know. Two come to mind immediately. We'll just go with it. So one of my favorites all time. I love horror games and horror movies. That's right up my alley there. So Silent Hill 2.
Yes,
I would say
classic. That's
yeah, original Xbox version. It was solid.
Is that the one with the dog at the end
God.
or something? Which Silent Hill's the one with the dog?
I don't remember.
You find
I
out
don't
you're the
remember.
dog or something, or the dog is, I forget which one, but anyhow, go ahead.
There
man.
was this, yeah, a moment that just jumps out to me. There's a moment in that game where you go into this room and it's black and you can't see the whole room.
Yes.
And there's a sound of like a horse running like at you, right? And it was on the Xbox. It had the 5.1 surround. I remember that vividly. And it sounded like this horse was running at you. So you start running, like I started running and scared shitless. And you're in this empty room, and the sound's just coming from all directions. I remember that scaring the hell out of me. The other game that comes to mind immediately is one of my all-time favorite horror games, which doesn't get mentioned enough, in my opinion, is Condemned.
That was going to be one of mine.
Yeah, I love Condemned, and
Great game.
Yeah, I just remember playing. There's a couple levels in that game that are just mind warping. But the school level, when you're in the school, there's a couple moments in that level that just really scared the living hell out of me. There is one moment when you go in the warehouse. It's like level 3 or 4. You go in a warehouse and there's mannequins around, which, kind of show up in a lot of horror games. But I remember walking, and I walked past one, right? And you get about 5 steps past it. And then in my rear surround, I heard footsteps. And I turned around, and the mannequin just like walks away from you. It just like walks the other direction, like not even towards you. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on right now? I don't know. I just remember that scaring the living hell out of me when I played it, but I love that. I live for that stuff.
Oh my!
Nice.
Let's go with B Money.
Ainsley took one of mine with Silent Hill 2, but yeah, Silent Hill 2
Classic.
was amazing, man. Straight
Definitely
classic.
Yeah.
People probably wouldn't classify this as a horror game, but playing it in the dark, man. Eternal Darkness was definitely a pretty scary game as well. Playing it, when that first came out, and then I'll probably have to say those might be my two, and then maybe even Dead Space, like the first Dead Space.
Yeah, that was another one of mine.
Playing in the dark.
Yeah, fantastic game.
Yep.
So I'll go with those three, man.
All right. What about Slow Mo?
Yeah, see, I don't play these kind of games, right?
We got another Enrique here.
You know what? I have no shame. Y'all can call me a punk. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. I don't play. I have 2 experiences with horror games, and I said, you know what? No, sir, not me. First one was way back in the day, Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I recall in the very beginning of the game, walking down the hallway, and them undead dogs burst through the window. I dropped the controller. I was done. I ain't finished the game. So that was that one. And then I was somewhere time in college. I think it was actually Silent Hill 1. I know it was one of the Silent Hill games. Whichever one where the guy is in a room, I think he's in a school, and the phone starts ringing, but he realizes the phone's not connected to anything, and he answers it, and it's his daughter, like saying,
yeah, that's one.
That's one. Yeah. See, that one, I watched my roommate play because I wasn't gonna play it, and I was still scared, and I was like, you know what, these games, this is not for me. I just can't do these kind of games. I can't keep the focus on completing whatever objective when I'm scared out of my mind. So, I can watch someone else play it. And at the very most, I'm cool with games like Until Dawn. And because they don't scare me. But I'm cool with those games. But Dead Space, Outlast, I'm not playing that. No, I'm good.
What about Resident Evil? Like the last one, like Resident Evil 7.
Hell no.
You want to play that?
I watched. First of all, Enrique, I recall you not wanting to play that game either.
Sir, I played it and beat it. Thank you.
That's true.
All right. I'll let you go on that one, but Resident Evil 7. I watched someone playing it in VR. It was like, and I just said, hell no, there's no way I would do that. And that's about as much as I've seen of it. So yeah.
fair enough, man. Eric, let's go to you, man.
All right. I'm gonna throw out 3. Okay. Now my first, like, it might not be, depends on how you think about it, but my first one, I'm gonna say BioShock. The first time I played BioShock. The first time you go down in the Rapture. Like the freakers trying to cut into like your submersible.
Some memorable.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was creepy. I almost didn't finish that one because of that part.
Oh man.
Layers of Fear.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good choice.
Yeah, you play that one, like play it in the dark, put your headphones on. There was points where I was just sitting there like, nah, I don't know if I'm going down that hall.
Yo, real quick, Layers of Fear is free on the Epic Game Store right now.
Yo, pick it up, play it.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that for you.
I already own it, man. I already own it on Xbox and PlayStation. I'm good.
Okay, all right. Just letting you know, because I will never play that. But just to let you guys know. Continue, sir. I'm not there.
And since Dead Space was taken, I'm going to throw Alan Wake out there.
Oh, good
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I hope we see a new Alan Wake, man.
Yeah, man.
We will. It's going to be on PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's all right.
I keep telling people that. Yeah.
Hey, as long as we get it, man, I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So real quick, any of you play Blair Witch?
No,
not yet. I haven't loaded up. I haven't loaded up. I haven't played it yet.
I liked it a lot. A lot. It's a psychological game. It messes with you, but I will tell you, if you're kind of like, when you start it, give it a little bit. It's a little slow at the start. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of short. You can finish it in probably 6-7 hours. But the last 30 to 45 minutes of that game are some of the most crazy I've ever played in any game.
Oh my goodness!
It gets really, really wild. The last 45 minutes, it's crazy.
All right.
We'll have to get.
It's not that long either, right?
No, it's not that long.
That's a negative, sir. That's not happening.
Yeah, it's good though. If you like horror games, I'd definitely play it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm definitely check that out.
All right. E, is that it for your list?
Yeah. So just throw out 3. That's good.
All right. So I'm going to go with mine. I'm going to go with Minecraft and the Creepers. I'm joking. Although the creepers kind of freak me out a little bit. Like my son is playing Minecraft the other day, and I'm like, I don't like those things. Guys, I'm gonna go with what B and Ainsley picked. Silent Hill 2. I mean, I remember the surround sound. It's funny you mentioned that. Ainsley, the Xbox, OG Xbox had the what's it called? I forget what it was, the input for the 5.1 surround sound.
Yeah, the HD pack.
Yeah, and I had like the monster one for it.
Yep.
Oh, God, the monster one was nice.
The optical cable and
yeah,
exactly.
Green, it had like that green and black meshing to match the Xbox.
Yeah,
it was really nice.
And so that made it stood out because that's why I brought it up on Xbox, because you could play it on PS2. But it didn't support 1080i and it didn't support 5.1, and the surround sound really made that game a lot more scary.
No, it really did. And I remember I just bought like a 5.1 surround sound system, and I sat in the dark on my 32-inch TV, and I remember just like hearing noises and the game freaked me the F out. Like it really did.
Yep.
And did that game have like multiple endings?
Yeah, that game kept me up a couple of nights, man.
Oh my god.
Okay,
I don't remember if it had multiple endings. I honestly don't remember a lot about it. Sadly, I should go back and play it.
Forte, we'll get to you in a minute, sir. So don't worry.
Oh no, you're good.
No, we'll get to you in a minute. No.
I want you to tell me how getting into the Mech and Steel Battalion scared you too.
Whatever, man.
I am honestly surprised no one has said the Mass Effect Andromeda character creator yet. Because that was very.
Oh, wow,
well, that's not topped by the Assassin's Creed Unity one.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
yeah.
Like, see through people's heads and stuff.
Yeah.
That thing was nightmare, man.
Yeah, that game was kind of creepy. No, so Silent Hill, definitely, the surround sound, because that was really kind of new to have that level of immersion, and then you turn off the lights.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, didn't like that. And then I would say, actually, Resident Evil 7. That damn old lady in the wheelchair. You come up the stairs, and she just be sitting there, like bent over sleeping, and I'm like, "Yo, where'd you come from? Like, why are you here?" And that guy in the beginning, here, piggy. That was not. I did not like that. Did not like that at all. You know what? I actually beat that game. I won't play it again though. Although the Resident Evil 2, the Resident Evil 2 remake wasn't too bad. I could play through that, but those would be my two. Forte, sir.
Well,
let
the
me
thing
guess.
about going last is
Croto Raid. That's probably one of yours.
Yup, sure is. Running through the pit of despair. No, but honestly, going last, a lot of people take all the stuff that you have. So I will tell you that Dead Space by far at first was the craziest game when it came to like scaring the bejesus out of me. Because I remember the part where I was walking through the corridors and you come across that giant hole in the wall. And I was like, damn, that's a big ass hole in the wall. And then you find out what actually made that hole about 20 minutes later. And it scared the crap out of me. And then that game just kept going downhill for me ever since that moment. So Dead Space, I love it. I wish they redo Dead Space. I need that redone. Next thing, Amnesia, man. I love Amnesia. Amnesia, I couldn't even play. Like, my wife was sitting there watching me play it, and then she left, and she was like, you can go ahead. I was like, I am not playing this unless you sit next to me. I was straight. So that would be number 2 for me. Outlast, man, Outlast was crazy. It's not even that it's scary. It's just that that you just can't do anything. You feel so defenseless in there, and all you're doing is running for the whole time. And there's just so many jump scares. So, man, Outlast, I truly enjoyed that. Resident Evil 7, dude, I played it in VR. I beat it in VR. I damn near peed myself in VR in that game because it was intense. Like that old lady scene in the wheelchair chasing you with VR on, dude. I fell on the floor a couple of times. I hit my leg against tables. My wife literally had to rearrange the living room so I could play that game in VR because I was hitting things. I almost punched her one time. I was like, did I hit you? So that was it. But probably one of my favorite ones, and it goes with my favorite movie franchise of all times, Alien Isolation.
That's a good one, man.
I loved that game. And it was more of the fact that I love Aliens so much as one of my favorite movies of all time. Going into that and experiencing that on that level, being chased by that thing all over the place. After a while, it got kind of repetitive because it kind of was just the same. But for the first 7 or 8, because that game kind of overstayed its welcome. It was longer than it needed to be. But for like the first 7 or 8 hours of that game, I was truly horrified everywhere I went in that game. It was like the heart was beating out of my chest playing it. If you have not played Alien Isolation, it's been free multiple times. It might be in Game Pass right now. I don't know. But that's an amazing game if you really like horror type games, especially if you like the movies.
All right, man. That's a strong list, Forte. I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed. God. I thought you were gonna throw like one of the Destiny raids in there.
I could have said, well, if you could throw parts of like Halo in there, like the Flood, like that was spooky as hell.
Yeah, the Flood was spooky.
The first time you encounter them,
the Flood,
then with dead people everywhere, entire map.
That and then Gears of War. What was it? Well, I forget one where you're going through the where you're going through. I forget the section you were going through where you were inside and things coming out the walls and shit. It's fucking crazy.
All right, yeah, that's a strong list, Forte. Strong list, man. Somebody in the live chat said, that was Slow-Mo, said Enrique's scariest video game moment is playing a game in 30 frames per second. Facts. That's facts, man.
It is now, at least.
Yeah, I can't
Why is it
imagine
moving
playing.
so slow?
Yeah, I can't. I just got Destiny.
So
is
when
terrible.
people sit here and say in these comment sections and on Twitter, and they say the eye can't see past 30 frames per second, I want to make sure that you putting them in their place.
All I know is that I see things moving butter smooth. That's all I know, and it looks better than console.
Oh God!
And I'll leave it at that, man. I'll leave it at
He's
that.
been forsaking his console brethren for the last 3 weeks.
Hey, it doesn't matter where you play, Forte, just as long as you're playing.
That's true. I truer words have not been spoken.
Yeah. So, all right, gentlemen. Great topics tonight, guys. Love the conversation. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat, and big shout out to our guest this evening, Ainsley Bowden, for joining us this evening, man. Thanks a lot, bro. Loved having you on, man. Please let everyone know, dude, where they can find you.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot, guys, man. It's been a lot of fun. Really good group. Laughing my ass off over here. So I appreciate the invite. And yeah, just seasongaming.com, and everything's on there. So we run a channel, do all kinds of videos for controllers and hardware and podcasts and all kinds of random crap. So yeah, check it out. I appreciate it. And thanks again, sincerely, for having me on. It's been a blast.
No, absolutely, man. Our pleasure, man. We'll have to get you back on again soon, man, and talk some more video games. I think we were a little more tamed this evening than we usually. Usually, there's a segment where like Slow-Mo and Forte just kind of debate, if you will. So
This is more of a massacre, you know.
Here we go.
Call it debate if you want. It's
See,
fine.
I was about to say something super nice to him and say it was really the fact that I respect Slow-Mo and I don't. And sometimes we need to take a break from each other, but then he wants to throw haymakers at me and not tell me to duck.
oh boy. All right. We're not gonna do this.
Slow-Mo.
We'll save this energy for maybe next week. But no, Ainsley, man, seriously, been awesome having you on, bro. Dude, I love the old school Sega stuff, man. That is awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, Sega kid for life.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
That's the greatest ever.
Yeah. Hey,
Yes, baby.
blast processing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Blast
Yeah,
processing.
you guys didn't have Final Fantasy.
I like
though.
your. I do love your Cuphead. I do love your Cuphead character for your icon.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's Sean Labrie, man. He's made a few things for me.
As soon as I
and,
looked at it, I was like, it looks like something out of Cuphead. So it's probably what
yeah,
you were going
I'm
for.
like a Cuphead fanatic. Like,
Okay, because I was looking at that, I was
Yeah.
like something out of Cuphead. Yeah, looks nice.
we didn't talk about shmups, but like I'm a diehard shmup guy, and Cuphead, man. I'm literally surrounded by Cuphead stuff in my basement here.
Nice. All right.
Great game.
One of the best games is Gen.
Yeah, definitely.
Most
one of
people
the best
didn't beat
games,
it.
Shen. Yep.
True. That's true. True
That
Forte.
is true. That is true. All
Yep.
right. For the rest of my panel, B Money, Slow-Mo Backslap, the Gaming Forte. Gentlemen, thank you. It's always a pleasure. And again, big shout out to everyone in the live chat. We will see you guys next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sure we'll be talking some more Death Stranding as those reviews come out on Friday. Other than that, guys, hey, have a happy Halloween. And go Nationals. They're up 4-2. Maybe they win the World Series.
Oh, they're up now?
Yeah, they're up right now.
Which inning is it?
Oh
Game
my God.
7.
Bottom of the 8th. I am
Oh,
nervous.
Oh man,
Yeah, I'm about to pee my pants.
They were just down 1-2, so they just got 3 runs in the 8th.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I picked them Game 7. I said they're going to do something. I just felt like there was something special about this team on the road. They beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers were a really good team. Second best team to Houston this year, but we'll see. They're up 4-2. Let's see if they can hold the lead. So we'll see what happens.
We need them to do this because we're never going to get any championships from the Redskins and Wizards. So
No, that's not going to happen. No.
Wow. Yeah, the Wizards. Wizards just lost by 1 point today, 159 to 158.
I don't even.
oh my
Jesus.
God.
I don't
How
even
did
watch
you-
the Wizards. I don't even watch them anymore.
James Harden went for 59 points.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
Bradley Bill went for almost 50 himself. It was,
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was. He had like 49 points. It was pretty crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
looking at the stat board now. It's crazy.
All right, guys. We are out. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us this evening, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.
Later.